Hey folks, my name is Jaxsun. Today we're going to touch on the state of Windwalker monks going into 9.15. Now, if you had pushed any kind of mythic content, you absolutely seen that Windwalker monks were standing out kind of head and shoulders above all of the other classes out there. Um, it was absolutely one of the best melee choices out there in the game throughout all of 9.1, if not since the start of Shadowlands. Um, it's got an incredibly high damage profile, high AoE damage, great single target. Um, it's got an execute in the form of Touch of Death. Lots of really fun, unique abilities here, in addition to a high degree of utility and just being able to bring the group buff around Mythic Touch and increase that physical damage taken by 5% makes this a must have when it comes to figuring out who's coming to your group with you in 9.15. Now, what we're going to touch on first is the talent build that you see here on the screen. So, Tier 1, we're going to go Chi Burst. Tier 2, Tiger's Lust. Tier 3, Fist of the White Tiger. Tier 3, Inner Peace, or Ring of Peace. Tier 5, Diffuse Magic or Dampen Harm. We'll touch on that in a moment. Tier 6, Dance of Chi-Ji. And then finally, Tier 7, Whirling Dragon Punch. So overall, like, all of these abilities can just help hammer. If we look to Tier 5 a little bit more, that's really where the discussion pops up in terms of the Mythic Plus build, whether you're going to go with Dampen Harm and reduce all damage you take in that 20 to 50%. That's useful in both Mythic Plus and rating. Or alternatively, Diffuse Magic could be your way to go, and that's if you're looking to reduce magic damage in Raids or Mythic Plus. But really, like, the overall vast majority of damage in all of Shadowlands is physical. So for me personally, I try to bring Dampen Harm with me, although it is nice to have a bit of a reflect there if you're so inclined, or if you don't maybe have a prot warrior or any kind of warrior with you who can do a spell reflect and are trying to take advantage of some definitely high burst potential there. So, what do we know? Overall, Windwalker, tons of fun. I'm really enjoying it on my high mountain Tauren, and that's really just because of two things: awesome antlers, and then having the ability to take advantage of Bull Rush. Between Flying Serpent Kick, Bull Rush, and then Roll, this monk can cover a tremendous amount of ground, apply stuns, apply slows. It is just a ton of fun overall, and is absolutely one of the best classes that you can try to pick up. There's very few flaws consistently going into 9.15. With that being said, everybody's screaming about how overpowered Windwalker is right now, and we're going to touch on some of the changes that it's going to see going into 9.15. We're going to see that the target capping has been removed for Spinning Crane Kick, which is just insane to me. Fists of Fury, as well as Rushing Jade Wind. So awesome to see overall. Chi Burst now deals reduced damage beyond 6 targets. Apparently, there used to be some really complicated AoE calculation how they figured this out before. Just note today that, alright, Chi Burst is going to give us relatively reduced heals over 6. But if you're using this for a Mythic Plus perspective, that's not necessarily applicable to us. The developers are trying to balance the Covenants as much as balance the classes right now. So we are seeing that Venthyr abilities are getting a little bit more love. So Fallen Order, which is your Venthyr ability, spawns an equal amount of off-spec Adepts. And Adepts now apply Mystic Touch to their target, which is pretty exciting. So Ox Adepts now throw a Fallen Brew after the monk after spawning, which grants the monk an Absorb Shield for 10% of the monk's maximum health. Helps our survivability. Tiger's Adept, it basically takes your Tiger Palm damage and increases it by 200%. Tiger Adepts now cast Spinning Crane Kick if there's more than one enemy within range. That's really attractive. And while Tiger's Adept are active, the Monk and their allies gain 5% movement speed, stacking with other movement speed increasing effects such as Monk's Windwalking. Just incredible. Like, taking Windwalker and making it even better. We are seeing buffs to other classes though. The Night Fae Conduit Way of the Fae, that effect has been increased by 100%. And that's just kind of summarizing like the major changes that we're seeing overall to Monk. If we like deep dive down into like the specifications that are changing with the class, we're seeing the Spinning Crane Kick now increases the Spinning Crane Kick's damage by 18%. It used to be 15%. What? You're saying how are we buffing Spinning Crane Kick even more? This is actually a little bit of a nerf. So what this does do is that 18 or 15% buff, that was for each target that was struck by either Blacko Kick, Tiger Palm, Rising Sun Kick in the last 20 seconds. And it used to stack up to 6 times. Now it only stacks up to 5. So it'll be a slight bit less damage. But I still think Windwalker's just going to pump big mobs. Like, really excited to see what it looks like, especially for the next great push. Tiger Adept's attacks from Fallen Order now count towards your recently attacked spinning crane kick bonus, so that's kind of interesting. So Tiger Adept is definitely attractive for us, but it's going to be interesting to see what changes next. Crane Adepts from Fallen Order, which is our Venthyr ability, now prefer to heal the Monk over other friendly targets, so we're getting a priority heal there. And Kiefer's Skyreach, which is a legendary, now properly increases the critical strike of Bone Dust Brew. And that's our Necrolord ability. Where that starts to get kind of interesting is that when you look at this fancy data that we're able to pull up from Wowhead, you can see absolutely why Venthyr is getting all of these buffs. They're not quite cracking 5% in terms of Windwalker. The two most popular classes are Kyrian, which are absolutely great for Mythic Plus, and Necrolord, which is the most popular, which gets kind of interesting. Certainly if you're looking to push Mythic Plus content, Kyrian is a really, call it smooth ability. The Covenant abilities line up with what we're trying to accomplish with Mythic Plus and knock down big mobs. That's true also for Night Fae, but you can see Night Fae is really trailing, not quite getting 9% of the overall split. So it's kind of a 2-horse race right now between Kyrian and Necrolord. Around Legendaries, there's a couple of ways you can go. Invoker's Delight is a major one. Like, after you summon your Celestial, your haste is increased by 30% for 20 seconds. Just gives us a ton more haste during our burst window. This is a great ability to pick up. The only way you wouldn't pick this up is if you're actually playing Night Fae. If you are going Night Fae, then Phaeline Harmony, that legendary basically resets the Phaeline Stomp 100% more often. So you've got allies that take 8% more healing from you, while enemies take 8% more damage. So it's an 8% damage buff, effectively. This is your go-to if you're going to play Night Fae. You can see still not enough to really put a lid away from Necrolord or Kyrian, but definitely something to keep in mind. Alright folks, that's the overall health. Windwalker continues to have great utility, huge melee damage. It's got decent damage on single target, really nice AoE burst windows. Really like one of the best specs in the game in terms of mobility, but also damage that it produces. So let me know your thoughts on this. Drop it down in the comments. What do you love? What could use a little bit more attention? And thanks for making it this far in the vid. I hope it helped you out. Let me know the things I can do better, and I'll talk to y'all soon. Thanks for watching.